Over the years, we've talked a lot about abuse by members of law enforcement, crimes being committed, not being investigated, covered up. We have a particular case involving the accusations being made by 5 Black women against a number of both detectives and police chiefs, former from Kansas City, that any one of these individual allegations is a horror story. It could be a movie. It could be, a court case that the country should pay attention to for a full year. But we have so many wrapped up in this one lawsuit that we're not going to be able to get to all of them. And the ones that we don't get to are some of the most horrific things that I've heard. But we're going to talk about what's being done here. We have 5 women making accusations against a number of detectives and former police chiefs. The lead character in this is Roger Golubski, although others have committed horrendous acts or are being alleged to have committed horrendous acts. So the lawsuit says that the defendants in total, and it's a number of names, ran a protection racket for literally decades through which they protected criminal organizations who kidnapped, beat, and killed citizens. Golubski is separately facing criminal charges for conspiring to run an underage sex trafficking ring and the sexual assault of one of the 5 women, her surname being Williams, and a teenage girl 2 decades ago. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges and is currently on house arrest, and he actually retired from the force, I believe, 13 years ago. But here are some of the individual allegations that are being made in this lawsuit. So one night in September back in 1992, Golubski found Michelle Hooks at a park and offered to drive her home. He allegedly did not do that. Instead, he drove her to a park, ordered her to get out of the car and perform oral sex on him. He then forced her into the back seat of his unmarked police car and raped her while wearing his badge and gun. She asked why he was doing it. He allegedly replied, "Because I can," and then forced her to perform oral sex on him again. He apparently later, she says, threatened to charge her brother with a crime if she told anyone about the assault. So across these many different allegations, physical abuse, sexual abuse is a constant, and then threats if it was to be revealed, if they were to be exposed, ranging from false allegations against family members to murder are a part of many of these. So we also have Golubski being alleged to have helped cover up the murder of Sandra Newsom's son in April of 1994. He apparently approached her and sexually harassed her under the guise of pretending to investigate her son's murder, asking her, "You ever think about dating a white police officer?" Reminder, her son had just been murdered at that point. Golubski was accused of raping Nico Quinn's 16-year-old sister Stacy back in 1986. She was later murdered in 2000. There were false claims being confessions is the word that I'm looking for. False confessions being pressured. We have a case, we can't go in depth into this, where Ophelia Williams says that she was forced to perform oral sex. This is on a Golubski while he drove his police car. When she threatened to expose him, he told her she would never be found again if she did that. Michael Kill and Clayton Bye, 2 of the other former detectives who are involved in this case, are accused of forcing a woman to have sex near the burned corpse of her dead father, or else they would claim that she murdered him. I mean, all of these they're so reprehensible. Claims of rape perpetrated over the course of years in individual cases, that they go beyond the normal stories that we often talk about police abuse of power and crimes being committed, let alone being covered up, Brett. But it's a lot here. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I am not the kind of person who would say that all cops are bastards. I think that when people are pushing back against increased scrutiny of the police department, they pretend that everybody is just overreacting and saying cops are corrupt no matter what. But those same people on the cop side are like, I just don't want people to get away with crimes. And I think we should enforce the law. And in my contention, it shouldn't, you having a badge is not a shield against, you shouldn't be able to get away with crimes like this just because you're a cop. And a lot of the frustrations that people feel when they criticize law enforcement, it's based on stuff like this. So there's still going to be a trial and all that stuff. But but it doesn't look good. And this kind of stuff has happened in the past. We've known it to happen in the past. People have been convicted of stuff like this in the past. So the things that kind of really caught fire in the summer of 2020, when Black Lives Matter started happening and people started calling out the police officers more and more, it's because of stuff like this. And this kind of scrutiny should be on the cops all the time, because the cops are putting that kind of scrutiny on the people.
Yeah. As you said, there will be a trial, obviously. It's incredibly complicated, involves a lot of people over the course of decades, and also involves multiple former police chiefs who are alleged to have known about these crimes and helped cover them up, which obviously could have consequences for your ability to get evidence. So any sort of case like this is complicated. This one particularly complicated, but my God, the things that are being alleged. Anyway, we'll be following it. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.